Previously on BALLZ.
Here we go. Now we can see you as well, Mark.
Yeah.
Don't give him a round of applause for turning a camera on Skype. This guy walks.
It's good to see him.
This guy walks thousands of kilometers a year.
I know.
In the PBM colours, we had the guys in here a couple of weeks ago. Craig and his team do some interesting stuff. Do you do a lot of stuff with him?
A great bunch of guys to work with, and really enjoyed working with them, and haven't done as much as I possibly could have, but I've just been trying to focus on my personal preparations and getting ready for my race in London. So maybe when I get back I'll work a lot more with Craig and the team, but for the moment just trying to keep up with all the training that I need to do and get all that done.
How long is your event? I mean, how long is the walk again?
I'll be racing 50 kilometers, so just under 4 hours, maybe closer to 3:55 if all things go well.
You see now, and me going to the German stuff now, I always used to be running on the treadmill. Now they've got me walking as well. And really, I mean, you guys, they should put hurdles or something in your track.
Well, at least some water to make it interesting, but I mean, just have to walk straight up and down.
Listen, there's no better event or more interesting event than the walk, because it's one of those things where you see people and it's like, you've obviously got to, I mean, there's a fine line between what you do and sort of breaking, where you've got all these judges standing around and they're pulling guys off the course saying, oh, you were breaking into a little bit of a run there. That wasn't a walk anymore, you're out. So you can get disqualified if it looks like you're running, even if you weren't. It's
definitely the most exciting and enjoyable of the event, because there's always something different happening, and it's not like the 10,000 track where you've got a guy that's running for 25 laps and you know he's going to win, or the marathon he's got a good chance. I mean, a judge can come out at any moment and give you a paddle, which is a disqualification board, and then your race is over. So from that side it's probably quite exciting and one of the more intense races at the Olympics in track and field. So from my side, really enjoyable that you're always on the edge and always have a fine line whilst you're racing, and very unpredictable from that perspective, because you could be on that fine line of what you believe is walking and a judge believes to be running, and in any moment he can get you off the course. So yeah, very interesting, but it's a quite enjoyable event for me.
All right. Now, do they still have the track event? The what was it? The 3,000 meter walk or the 3K walk?
At international level and Olympic level, you only have the men's and women's 20 kilometer and the men's 50 kilometer event. So definitely no short events. However, indoor they have a 5,000 meter indoor event.
Is it 5K?
And then you have at domestic events 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 track. But for the most part, it's only the 20 and 50 are the internationally recognized distances.
All right. Now, I mean, to just give us a little indication on that, have you seen the course that you guys are walking in the Olympics? So are you allowed to sort of go and do a couple of practice walks and stuff like that? What's the deal there?
We're not exactly sure which days it will be cordoned off. Normally it's cordoned off 24 hours before the event, and you can have an opportunity to get out on the course. The route is out in front of Buckingham Palace, so if you're on the Mall, you walk along the Mall for about 700 meters, go around the statue. I'm not sure which statue it is at the moment, and then it's another 300 meters, turn around and come back. So it's a 2 kilometer loop, and we're doing that 25 times, and it's right in front of Buckingham Palace. So I've been practicing walking and getting...
They could give you a little bit more scenery than make you go 25 times around a blooming 2K course. I mean, the country's big enough. It's not like you're in Monaco where you walk out of the country. Take you on a nice 50K walk and see a bit of England and London.
No, well, due to the nature of having to have judges and keeping an eye on the participants at all times, you have standard 8 judges for an international event. So they've got to be strewn across a course, and they can't be moving the whole time. So they watch each athlete coming past them regularly, and so 25 laps you can see each person 25 times, depending on the structure of the course, maybe even 50 times per person, and then you can monitor their performance. So that's where the judges come in. So the courses are designed to accommodate the judging, and it's also good for concentration, because with running it's beneficial to go from point A to B and you just run, whereas walking is so much technique based and concentration about your technique. So it's actually in the athlete's best interest to stay on a permanent loop and to have the consistency of just going round and round in circles. That being said, it could be worse. I could be doing my 50K on the track, which is 125 laps.
Like no,
or
no.
My first 50K was around a soccer stadium in Germany.
What? That's crazy. Please don't disappear now. We're just getting... geez, there we go. By the way, if you can still hear us, we haven't dropped your call. You've just frozen on us. What do we do now, Maz? Redial. It's hung. Let's redial him. Sure. Interesting guy to chat to. Never
nice
short
guy.
of... nice guy, never short of a word. And very, very passionate about his sports. Nice. There we go. I think we've got him out. Mark, you there?
I'm going to turn my video off for a moment just while we're going through intermittent signal.
No, you can turn it back on. It was actually doing quite well. I don't know why it suddenly hung there. So
okay.
We've turned our camera off. So are you there?
Yeah, I'm back again.
All right, your picture's frozen, but it's there you are. Okay, we got you back. Yeah, you were just talking about the walking around a football stadium in Germany.
Yeah, no, it was the German Nationals, my first ever 50-kilometer event, and went over to a little place called Zittau in Germany, and that was my debut 50 kilometers. So really interesting. Wouldn't have wished it upon anyone to do 50 laps of 1K,
oh
but
my goodness,
that's what I needed to do.
By the way, that's not a statue, that's Camilla.
Oh, Darren.
Yeah.
Mark.
I'm still here.
Mark, I must tell you, I've done that loop 8 times, my friend. The loop that you've done, and also walking.
Nice.
Past Buckingham Palace. Finish of the London Marathon.
So give him some insight then. You've done the track.
I've done the track. I've done it 8 times. I've run the London Marathon 8 times. But I wanted to tell you the interesting part is I've also walked it because I didn't have any energy left after that. So my thoughts really go out to you because you guys really work hard. How long does it take before you get disqualified? When the judge walks up here, how many chances do you get?
Basically, you get 3 different chances. So, or when I say different, from 3 different judges. So you can't have one judge just making sure you eliminate it, and you can only have 2 judges from the same same country. So basically, how it works is on the 2K loop, you'll have each judge with his demarcation boards, and each one is entitled to give you 1 warning. And by the time you've got your 3rd one, and then the chief judge will pull you off the course and ask you to go and have a shower and just basically to get out of there.
Sure. So I mean, when you start the race, why don't you just bolt, sprint, get about a good 100k, 100-meter lead, 200-meter lead, and let them warn you a couple of times, so you're K in front, and then just behave the rest of the race.
It would be really wonderful if that was the case, but the chief judge has an opportunity to
disqualify
you immediately. So
absolutely,
if there's blatant running and blatant abuse of the rules. So for me, I've had to work pretty hard on my technique of late and to make sure that I stay within the parameters. And my race, when I qualified in Russia, actually managed to race the entire 50 kilometers without picking up a caution or a warning. So I was pretty delighted with the fact that my technique's doing well. But then on the converse side, or the flip side of that, if you're not on that fine line between being legal and being, in a sense, illegal in your technique, then you're not really pushing the envelope and on the fine line. So it's a double-edged sword, which I've got to try and work as hard as I can to have my technique as solid as possible, but at the same time making sure that I'm not cautioned and not hampered by the fact that my technique could be a problem.
What target have you set yourself then for your event? Obviously, it's just the one-off. You get a 1 chance at this Olympics. What goals have you set for yourself? There you are. You're back.
From my side, so I'm planning to. Okay, we're still there.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, so I'm planning to peak in 2016, which would probably be the best opportunity for me to be a medal contender. But for my race now in London, aiming to improve on my personal best and to get very close to a time in the vicinity of 3 hours 55 minutes. And I'm in a unique position where my current performance and personal best is both the national record and the continental record. So if I could realistically improve by a minute or 2 minutes on my performance from Russia earlier this year and reduce both those at the greatest sporting spectacle in the world and have the BMT to compete against the best in the world when it mattered, that would be the most ideal result for me in 2012, and then use to build on that as a platform for 2016.
Where's 2016 again?
Down in Rio.
Oh, Rio, of course. Yeah. Geez, they got the World Soccer and the Olympics one after the other.
I don't know how they're going to be ready for that.
Gee, that's amazing.
They landed really well, so the countries come on board and really getting behind big sporting events, very similar to what Russia's doing with Sochi Winter Olympics, World Student Games, and then the Soccer World Cup. So 3 events for them as well.
Awesome.
How did you get into walking, Mark? Was it at school, or who inspired you?
Kept getting sent to the shops. I said, hurry up with those cigarettes.
Cigarettes, and definitely wouldn't have been in the walking if it
No.
was cigarettes. No, my old man Oliver was very much into sport when he was growing up, and then dinged his knee playing rugby, tore his cruciates, and the doctor suggested that he couldn't do anything that required the knee to be bent, so no running, and then did something on a slipped a disc in his back, tobogganing, and couldn't really keep the spine or bend the spine, so running was out from that side as well, and the doctors recommended that he does some walking, and being a competitively minded person, got involved with race walking on competitions to see if he could walk the fastest, and then immediately started being reasonably successful. And then prior to apartheid ending or isolation, he was just competing locally, and then was part of a team in 1993 that got to compete internationally, the first walking team, and I was at an impressionable age in 93, around about 10 years old, and started race walking at school level, at primary school, and then kept it going through high school, and got a bursary to come to the University of Pretoria to study and pursue my walking aspirations and my career. And yeah, that's basically my nutshell life story of getting into walking.
Wonderful.
Been in Tucks for 11 years, and eventually got into a top international team.
Mark gave us
Awesome.
a good demonstration the beginning of the week, Mark, at Supersport. It's Nicole, by the way.
Oh, Nicole, greetings to you.
Hello.
Look how excited he gets when you.
Today.
So he's so excited he gets when you pop up.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You would help, but you got your video off, so I'm just guessing who I'm talking to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that is Nicole. How's she doing at Supersport? Okay, are you impressed?
Yeah, it seems to be really impressive watching the countdowns. And the show is also pretty good.
Yeah,
There we
you
go.
see,
There we
Mark
go.
and I luckily bonded, so he's got that bit of positive.
Well, his dad never had to send him to the shops for cigarettes because his dad was a tobogganist.
Ah.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Mark, it's always nice to catch up with you, boss. Yeah, you should get a career in television when you finished whatever you're doing, because
If you know anybody, that would be great. I
Well,
mean,
Nicole's got the
something to
connections
pursue
there.
for the future.
There we go. Get him on the next Olympic show.
Okay.
Mark,
That's-
never short of, and always a few interesting things to tell somebody. So that's really nice chatting to you always. Good luck, travel safe, and we'll be keeping an eye out for you in your big event.
Looking forward to it, as I said a bit earlier, racing on the 11th of August, a 50k outside Buckingham Palace. So looking forward to it, and counting down 29 days to go today till our race, and looking forward to leaving South Africa next week Thursday. So it's going to be fun.
Awesome stuff. Travel safe, and nice chatting to you again, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers,
Bye bye. Marc Mundell, our 50k walker, going to the Olympic Games.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on BALLZ.co.za. BALLZ.co.za.